From the evidence that has been published today by the committee, and some of the information that they've got that they are going to be looking into, is it possible to see how it stacks up either in favour or against Boris Johnson?
Right, well, it's quite clear that Boris Johnson has misled Parliament. He's come out and he has said that himself. So the real question that the committee will be trying to answer is, did he do that intentionally or recklessly, or did he do that inadvertently? No doubt in the next hour or so, we'll see Boris Johnson come out and give evidence to that committee, and he will quite theatrically defend himself and say it was inadvertent. The evidence that's come out to date so far in terms of the WhatsApp messages and the emails from the inner workings of the UK government suggests that it should be quite obvious to Boris Johnson that he knew that a law, or at least a guidance or a rule, was being breached. So it looks as if he will be found to be in contempt in Parliament. What the consequences of that are, what the sanctions will be, are to be debated. The committee will recommend a sanction depending on how egregious it thinks the contempt of Parliament was, and then that will have to be ratified or rejected through Parliament. So, I mean, on the face of this, it's about Boris Johnson and his political future. He could lose a status as an MP in theory, but there is a much bigger picture here, probably a more important picture here, which is this tells us quite a lot about how democracy in the UK works. It's a test of the UK's famously unwritten constitution. We have a parliamentary democracy, and the very core function of Parliament is to be able to hold the government to account, to prevent the abuse of power within a democracy. MPs essentially hold ministers to account on behalf of the public. Now, they can't really do that if they're being lied to. That's the key question here. And the ruling of this committee and whether its recommendations is ratified through Parliament will tell us a lot about where power lies in British democracy.